All right, so I believe we are live. Um, so
Hi
welcome,
there.
Sunny. Hi, how are you?
Well, how are you?
I've had better days.
I have too. It's been a rough week, hasn't it?
It really has, and I'm very curious to see what you're going to speak about with the passing of this full moon. And obviously, I know that we have a bunch of eclipses going on in the course of the month. So, if you can just give us some cliff notes on that or what to expect, because I think we're feeling it.
Happy to do that. Yes.
Okay. So, hi, Shabaka.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
Shabaka.
So, as people are coming through, I'm going to go ahead and ring the meditation singing bowl to clear our energies and we can get started. All right. So, if you're here in the chat, go ahead and say hello. I see you, Shabaka. Anybody else? Don't be shy.
A nice Libra full moon.
Hmm.
Libra is the air, the lovers, ruled by Venus, and all things beautiful and balanced and just lovely.
You know what? I just I
Hey,
I just did this by chance, but I created Aphrodite. Is Aphrodite the
yeah,
goddess
that would,
of—
yes,
Oh, okay.
that is
Oh, get this.
Venus.
I created some journal covers with Aphrodite last night.
Nice. Well, you're doing the Libra full moon.
Is that where that came from? Oh my god.
Absolutely.
That was
Yes.
weird.
We
Hi.
have a lot of planets piled up in Libra for this full moon. Um, let's see. Let me get my bearings here. So it's Chiron. No, let's see. Hold on. I tell you,
Oh,
if the writing gets much smaller, I'm in trouble.
okay. Well, I can say this. Shabaka is having issues. She said that she found a hidden problem with the new apartment and she hasn't moved in.
Oh, well, at least you found it.
Yeah, it's right above the garbage chute. Well, what is that? A critter? Like And hello, Tainted Love. How are you?
So I think what I was thinking about planets piled up opposite the new moon. So we still have like Chiron and the sun and
You said Vesta or something like that?
Jupiter, Vesta piled up in Aries. So that's opposite the full moon. So, you know, an interesting dynamic with this week is the sun and we're still in Aries, birth month with the sun is ruled by Mars. And then one of the asteroids that I started studying, because it's also in Aries and it's exactly opposite this full moon, is Eris, Eris. And Eris is the feminine expression of Mars. So you have a lot of aggressive, masculine, warrior type of energy magnified by the fullness of a full moon. And the dynamic is, Libra is air. It's considered, all things beautiful, artistic, harmonious, the lovers, the peacemakers. Opposite a stellium in Aries, which is war. So, Libra tries to balance out that. One of the things about people who are heavy Libra is they procrastinate because they have to keep um, keep this. Thank you. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
isn't that a nice surprise?
I like that.
Me
Thank
too.
you. Um,
Go ahead.
so I think how we might see this manifest is outwardly, because Libra is also the justice system, legal system, the scales of justice, and opposite a warrior style energy. So fights in court, fights over disposition of cases and outcomes. Um, if you look at it uh, on a global level, there's countries like France is in revolution. I want to say I saw the Netherlands were in some sort of revolution. Um, and if I'm remembering correctly, there's this Pluto, which has just tipped into a new sign of Aquarius for about 11 weeks. It'll go retrograde and come back into a Capricorn for a little while and then start moving forward again in the fall. So we're getting a taste of what this feeling of Pluto and Aquarius is about, which is revolution of society and wanting freedom. So I think what you see manifest on the Earth's surface is people responding to waking up to not being debt slaves and just working to pay corruption, really.
Mhm.
And it was 1889 when it was last in Aquarius, and that was when France was declared a republic. So it's interesting how those cycles of history play out in countries.
Hmm.
And I think we're going to be seeing more and more of that. There's a whole dust up in Iraq over the valuation of their money and them no longer basing their value on the United States dollar.
Mhm.
So you're going to see, you've been seeing the United States, the market go down, cryptocurrency pretty much jacked up. So Pluto is all about regeneration. It has to let things have a death in order to rebuild, the phoenix rising from the ash. And that is the promise of Pluto, is it always rebuilds back better that which it destroys. So, in the halls of my office today, somebody said something about uh, I'm not sure that the condition of everybody's condition could get much worse. And one of the guys was like, oh, yeah, it's going to get much worse. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, thank God, because it needs to be regenerated. We need to have a reset of values and market, and it's all been corruptly manipulated for decades. So, it all depends on how you look at it. And in the spiritual gangster, like your shirt, you going to show them your shirt?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys can see it.
spiritual gangster.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, that's really kind of what Eris opposite Mars would be. It's so appropriate that you wore that shirt. You knew nothing about what I was going to say on that.
No,
But
everything happens serendipitously, right?
it did, because in my article on lionmountainhealing.com for this full moon goes into also, April begins our eclipse season. And the first of three eclipses is April 19th. And let's see, it is eclipse in Aries. So more of that fire. So what eclipses do in a person's life, on your personal, day-to-day living and relationships, triggers. So if you've had like something kind of simmering on the back burner, say, an eclipse will trigger it into action again. It could trigger repressed anger. Say that, some little annoyance about someone in your life, and all those little annoyances sort of pile up, and you let it roll off your back and roll off your back. And then finally, boom, it's the last straw.
Mhm.
And I forget, was it on Saturday Night Live or something, some comedic routine about, and another thing, and another thing, and
Mhm.
another thing, and that's that energy of the Aries eclipse. On top of this, we've got a Libra full moon opposing not just the Aries sun, but a Aries stellium, where there's three or more planets piled up in one sign, is a stellium. It's very strong, whatever it is resonating to. And Aries is the ram, it's compulsive. You, road rage is a great example of this kind of energy. Um, you know, as a spiritual gangster, we want to tap into that inner goddess of Libra and Venus, and, be the peacemaker and stay calm while everything around us wants to go crazy, or you might, in your family type dynamic, be the one that's trying to mediate.
Mhm.
So part of the legal system is mediation. And that's, you've got a conflict. It's worthy of a court, but that nice middle ground is to mediate it, to
Mhm.
come to a compromise, come to an agreement. And
Mhm.
so that's how we need to be managing the next, you know, probably 2 or 3 months, is, mediate, find that mid ground where you're not too provoked by all the
Mhm.
Aries stellium energy. And, the part of Libra that we want to be aware of is we can be so tight, so bogged down in trying to gather facts and balance what's fair, that we end up being indecisive or procrastinating. So there's this fine balance about using the fire energy of Aries, to take action, not compulsively, and the Libra, you know, more air, peaceful energy to moderate that compulsion. So it's a really interesting energy. And I think that the bottom line is that we all need to really find that inner Eris in ourselves, that, you know, you can, like, what was that famous book about the art of war, right? No,
Mhm.
there's another one by a Japanese philosopher. Oh gosh, I can't think of it. But, sometimes the way to fight a war is to just be very quiet and observe,
Mhm.
observe what your so called enemies are. And Libra is about um, the seventh house in the natural zodiac. So it is marriages, partnerships, the justice system, in your body. It's the kidneys, ovaries, lower back area. And problems with those parts of the body can mean, repressed anger. So that's why I think, there's some balance we find here that allows us to process our anger in a healthy way. Anger management.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And so with an Aries eclipse, you know, we'll probably have leaps and bounds of, pioneering new technologies. And I don't know if you saw the little clip with Elon Musk earlier in the week, where he's saying, hey, we need to take 6 months and stop with all this progress for artificial intelligence. Like, there's a moral issue. That's Pluto. Pluto coming into Aquarius is morality and inhumanity. So, what was another thing that I overheard in a conversation earlier today, with people talking about how you know, you can have a baby artificially, I mean, they're just, is that moral? I think that's going to be the conversation we're having over the rest of the year is what is the morality of all of this advanced technology with artificial intelligence?
I think that's really for those who can't conceive and they'll try anything just to have a baby. That's where you could, because I know that there's test tube babies that, I've known a few actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's a
it's,
new, it's tricky and it's a new power in humanity,
mhm,
right? Where we're having, so Aries is the pioneer, that's the frontier that's not been explored. And here we are. And just like revaluing denominations of money,
mhm.
that's pioneering. That's uh, it's it's very, I want to say, chaotic. It's us trying to navigate controlled chaos, I guess. And so it's going to be an interesting summer. Then I think it is like May 5th. We have a Scorpio eclipse. Well, we all know what Scorpio does, right? Scorpio uncovers secrets. Scorpio is all about the private investigator and uncovering what's behind the black veil.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Now, in relationships, of course, I always want to go to the history and what's going on politically. And I don't think tonight's a good night to talk about politics. So let's try to keep it on the whole relationship, partnership, marriage uh,
Yeah,
subject.
no, because like going back to what you were discussing throughout the course of the week when I was doing the readings for April, I was
Yeah.
actually picking up a lot of the things that you were talking about, like legalities, like legal issues, dealing with, let's say the twin who is trying to get a divorce with a karmic and how that there are delays in the whole process. Also, I saw from one spirit message, it was um, take the time to read. If your person is not in the ability to be with you in a physical level because of, circumstance, right? Like, let's say that they're not completely legally detached from that third party. So use the time to read on law, or just any kind of information because that may not be resonating with you at this point, but you picked up on it, you read about it
Right.
today or around this time, and it could be actually very useful for you in the future. So,
Well, one of the other parts to that, Mars is about the ego. And a
mhm,
lot of divorces and breakups of long entrenched relationships is the financial aspect. And sometimes it's the pride and ego, and that's all that's holding it together is um, just the ego of, but I can't lose. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah, and all the money and
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
long they've gotten to that part, like they're not about to just lose it all to that other person. And
And
so,
the universe comes along and says, want to make a bet?
yeah.
I think that the spiritual gangster, the spiritual journey under these energies is just that giving up the ghost, so to speak. Like,
Mhm.
what is it about that perception of status or money that would keep you in a toxic, unhealthy, unhappy relationship? Um, you know, why is it that we tend to fight against the thing the universe is trying to bring us to easily? Like, if people would just let go of that concept of the material and the money and the status and what others might think about, oh, if we break up or this or that, what if you just allow the universe to hand you that next chapter in your life where um, you make new decisions, new people, new opportunities, because Jupiter in Aries, and it's going to remain there for a while, brings really wonderful expanding opportunities if we can be open to them, if we can keep our, the ego to me is that connection that makes our spirit connected to the body, the human part of us that tells us when we're hungry and when we have to eat. And
Mhm.
then it gets like this little gremlin in our mind where it just wants to keep us repressed and always unhappy and always back talking to like your intuition.
Mhm.
Intuitively, you might get the inkling that, I need to go look for an apartment for myself. I can't
Mhm.
stand this household situation anymore. And, but your ego is still going, but what will the neighbors think? But what will blah, blah think, and all of this exterior 3D kinds of elements instead of just in your soul and telling your ego to
Oh,
go
yeah,
sit down.
because your soul will know when it's time to leave. Like, you
Right.
can't take it anymore. Like, and it makes you feel sick inside, if you're enabling something that doesn't even resonate with you. It's like a resonance issue.
Yeah.
Whatever you're, explaining is actually a lot of what I was picking up in my reading, so that's
That's nice
actually.
confirmation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. So, I saw that a lot of times spirit was like, if there's something that you've been thinking about, just do it. You have to
Right.
really trust your gut instinct on this. Even though that you're a planner and you're very
Right.
meticulous and, you have to have X, Y, and Z before you even consider, just do it,
Right.
and then, and universe will provide. So,
And it's that control issue, right? You
yeah.
know, yeah. And so, and a stellium in Aries is compulsive and somewhat out of control. It's fire that's going to be fed by the Libra air full moon. So the fullness of the moon, what raises tides. It has more babies born than any other time. More murders are committed more than any other time. So it's very
I wanna say something. I just recently read an article, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it was published somewhere. So it had read there are 17 feet, like actual human feet, that are found floating and washing up on the shores of Washington.
that's weird.
Yeah, feet. And then they were trying
Well,
to,
now I want to know, were these children's feet or adults' feet?
exactly, right? They didn't say. But they're saying something like, "Well, we do have a lot of water here, and, there's a lot of people that do, water recreational activities and stuff."
That
And
is
I'm like,
just weird.
"Feet? Really? Just feet? Like, where's the rest of your body?" And I'm sitting
Right.
here thinking, they hung that person upside down, and a
Right.
freaking, like, whale or a shark went up out of the water
Oh
and
my
dropped it, and then the feet, like, fell to the freaking
Oh my
ocean.
God.
That was my reasoning with that article. I was like, "Feet? Nobody just loses feet."
You know, and not to sound too dramatic, but this is the tip of the iceberg of things that, that whole scales of justice, Pluto moving into Aquarius to for the power of humanity. I've been seeing more little clips about children and, abuse of children coming out, or um, it's just weird how there's subtle little signals of it's almost like some greater power at be thinks we have to be spoon fed for what's to come, when I think we're all
Why? They did the whole global thing.
right.
That
Right.
wasn't like some trickle down thing. That was a blowout, if we
Right.
went through that, like, I'm pretty sure
I
we can
think
go
it
through.
I think it's it. it derailed, though. I don't think it went as they planned.
Mm,
People did catch on to some other kind of manipulation.
mhm.
And, Scorpio eclipse coming up May 5th is very manipulative. I think we almost had to go through what we went through to wake up and be aware of the dishonesty, in certain categories that we have to question. We have to learn to use our own instinct and trust it, and not look outwardly um, for answers. It's more of about trusting ourselves to know what we need and what's best. And when you hear something and it doesn't sound true, it probably isn't. I used to love hearing Judge Judy say, if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. So, I mean, that's just a simple kind of common sense logic
So the
that's so
feet being
simple.
washed up on the shore, that's not true?
Well, no, I think that is indicative of some really horrible, um, like trafficking tunnel, or it's
Did you
evidence.
oh, let me say this. In Washington, they're building an underground tunnel to go from, I think, Seattle to, like, an island off of the way. Isn't that weird? I've seen the picture. It's an actual tunnel underwater, and it goes straight through. I mean, I know that they probably already had that. They're just now exposing that they have something like that.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I think we're getting some of this has been right under our nose. And now, what three eclipses in a row will do is bam, 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 trigger information, trigger
Mhm.
revelations within ourselves. Oh, um, another thing about, um, you know, Libra and Scorpio are kind of close together, and there's a there's a secretiveness there. And you know I think the thing people resist wanting to believe is that our own legal system could be corrupt, or we want to believe that law and order, so to speak, always looks out for us. And I think the eclipses will bring out more corrupt people. I mean, we've already been seeing some high profile people getting arrested and investigated. And I think it's only just begun. And we need to be emotionally, um, sound, and not like that Aries, the compulsive sort of, flip off or pop off before the Libra has collected all the information. So this is where we are, as we're trying to find the balance between a very compulsive, fired up warrior, and Mars is the god of war, and Libra, that Venetian, I just want to go, ponder the beginning of life by the seashore kind of energy, right? That meditative, I just want to be at peace kind of thing. And somewhere in between the two, um,
Hold on,
uh,
I gotta take this call.
oh, sure. So somewhere between the two, we find, yeah, people that Shabaka, that's interesting. You would bring up people given their meat suits to science, because that is part of this energy. Is, are we really wanting to go into the science of deep genetics, um, manipulating genetics? Um, there has been a trend for some time about, couples who, um, are, you had mentioned artificial insemination. They can actually look through files to pick the gene pool they want for their baby. You know, their eye color, their intellect, all these genes that they have separated to be able to manipulate. And actually, it was like 1996 when Saturn was last in Pisces that we had the first clone. The sheep Dolly was cloned. And so cloning has been around now for what is that, 27, 28 years. So there's probably been a lot of secretive lab activity. And I think over the summer, we're going to see a lot of it come out, um, and not good. I think it's going to be somewhat jarring to our soul to see the manipulations that have been happening, that are against humanity. One of the things I wanted to look up, I had a long time ago, but I didn't really want to speak about it because I don't have the exact facts, but I'm going to allude to it here. Oh my goodness. Well, I wish him the best, and I hope you are a proud aunt here in the new year, in the 2023. So this whole Nuremberg trials and and the crimes against humanity, and I believe there is an astrological signature that is similar to repeat that cycle. Not exactly the same, not exactly the same crimes necessarily in the same circumstance, but nonetheless, um, wrongs done against humanity. Um, and the whole idea of Pluto moving into Aquarius solidly, not until early next year, is that, you know, Aquarius is all about humanitarian efforts and wanting freedom from any kind of tyranny. And so I've been seeing the term here and there quite a bit recently, tyrannical medicine. So these are subject matters that bring that are the energy we're in bring out, and that is, you know, justice, uh, balance within oneself between the soldier and the warrior and the peacemaker and the mediator. You know, I mean, we all have to be well balanced to be able to, a, you know, manage our anger. So suppressing it is not healthy. Blaring it out impulsively is not healthy. So finding that middle ground of, I call it the watcher. I mean, that has been an exercise I've used to try and deal with anger. Is, you know, watch what is the ego and the mind coming up with when you're feeling angry, and what are you going to do about it? And there's just certain battles you pick and choose, right? There's certain things that, well, you know, maybe when you meditate and analyze it, it's just something that it's about tolerance and being compassionate towards people that, you know, they're doing the best they can based on their experiences from the past. So again, we're in, you know, times like we've never had astrologically. I think that, you know, I've said before, and it is what it is with astrology, that you choose when you're born. We chose to live during these times. So if you have fear that comes up or anxiety, you know, trying to sit with that and really analyze, what is it? Are you triggered from something that happened to you a long time ago, and it's a repetitive pattern in your emotional body that triggers by certain things? Um, you know, I really struggle with how much to share personally because number one, I'm heavy Scorpio and we don't like to share anything. But number two, it does try to explain the energies on a human to human basis. And without going into all the great detail, but the pattern that's been repeating itself for me for a couple of weeks has been feeling in the way, like I'm in the way. So I actually had someone, I actually heard someone say that in my part-time retail job. It was like, you know, we have different morals about customer service, you know, how customers should be treated. Some people think that, um, you know, I think a customer comes first and you can set aside any task or thing you think you need to do. The customer comes first. There are people who think the customer can wait. I need to do this task first. So that's the bottom line rub. So one of the ladies that I was put with on a shift, you know, made some comment to another lady that she thought I was in the way. And it really triggered me. And I've been sitting with that. And I really believe it's from something in my childhood, like feeling like I was in the way. You know, how you can be around a busy house. I had a lot of siblings and, you know, busy mom and dad, and we all sort of had to fend for ourselves. I was the youngest and only girl. I got beat up a lot by big brothers. I think they tried to kill me a couple of times and I blew it off. But as an adult, I really think they honestly tried to kill me. I know they tried to drown me once. But
Wow.
anyway, my point being that trigger of, you know, like you go to your mom as a little 3-year-old and she says, go to your room or go sit down, like you're in the way, go. And, you know, you're like that young little soul that wants to be nurtured and loved and needed. And that carries on through adulthood, right? And so I think, you know, when I'm trying to explain emotional triggers, that's an example. Like, does something happen in your environment now as an adult that you cannot let roll off your back, that it triggers you and you're upset about it, to try and sit with it? And if you do, I mean, other memories will flood, you know. My ex-husband had an affair. We ultimately divorced. I was in the way, right, from him marrying and having a kid. And, you know, so all of those patterns repeat themselves in different ways. And sometimes it can be really challenging to admit. I mean, this is kind of challenging me for me to admit it, honestly. Who wants to feel like they're in the way? And how do
Mhm.
you overcome that deep seated repetitive
Well, you say, "Well, excuse me, honey. Well, let me step out of the way so you can go first."
Oh, it's so funny you said that because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and
Mhm.
heavy Aries people always want to be first.
Yes, honey,
They
go.
want to be
Like,
first in line. Yep.
I'm sorry, am I holding you back? Well, let me step out of the way. You can hurry up and get where you need to go to because chances are, it's not gonna work out. So go
Yeah.
ahead. Go.
Yeah. Fly,
I
fly,
would
fly away.
I'm like, "Oh, I'm
Well,
sorry."
well, I'll tell you, so a few of these little things have happened that I've kept in, and this week it just, you know, I let a manager know that I was kind of fed up. I've tolerated a lot of rude, bad behavior. I don't
Mhm.
need to do that. And so I kind of blew him off. I mean, I blew off a shift, you know, and
You
you
blew
don't.
off a shift
I did,
because
you know. Other people do it. I
what?
of course, my the universe really kind of stepped in because the universe made it so my car wouldn't start. It's not like I
Oh,
intentionally blew it off. It's just the universe stepped in and said, "No, you're going to blow off that shift because you know,
okay.
yeah." So it's funny how things like this happen. And I anticipate with all of us more of this kind of energy that,
Mhm.
we're going to be asserting patterns of our behavior that have nothing to do with the 3D and the person in and of itself, but are
Mhm.
from maybe even lifetimes of a pattern.
Mhm.
And especially in partnerships and marriages, because that's what Libra rules. So, you know, another example, and I think we can all relate to this and have either done it ourselves or know someone who has. People tend to marry the same person over again,
No,
right?
that's why I haven't married.
Me too. Me too. It's like, but I've watched it around me where this one lady, I swear to God, her second husband could have been the clone of her first husband. Just physically, he looked just like him.
Different.
And
Oh.
it started out this very whirlwind romance and heavy love bombing and that illusion, that Neptunian illusion, because we still
Mhm.
have Neptune doing some heavy vibes here too, which this is going to be really interesting to see how that fuzzy, dreamy veil of Neptune kind of gets, burnt away for us to see the reality. Feet washing up on the beach,
Mhm.
so I think that it's interesting too when we look back at the history of Hollywood and how Hollywood has really been putting in our face a lot of realities that we've perceived as drama and fantasy. And I think as the world turns here and we're shifting into these, five outer planets are changing signs within a short period of time. If you're not feeling a shift, you're inebriated, right? You mean, we cannot not help feel these energies changing. And the question is, how can we, in a healthy, balanced way, assimilate that and also be strong and healthy for others? Because that's what Pluto and Aquarius is about, is we're all humanitarians here to give each other a helping hand in a world that is chaotic and collapsing around us. And that's the part I want to reiterate is, embrace the world collapsing around us, because it's been a corrupt, dark world and can only be rebuilt back better than ever. And that's so we have to kind of root out the dark in order to replace it with that Venetian loving creative energy. There's been a trend in our schools for far too long to negate children's creativity. It's just, and human beings are innately creative. So what does it take for us to recognize how very natural things have been manipulated out of our societies and our little communities? And I think that what we'll start seeing are little bubbles of creativity, um, getting grants and monies to start art centers is a very basic interpretation of
I don't
just
know
that.
about that, so I would say
Community gardens, we've been seeing that more of a trend, communities coming together to help grow and feed,
mhm.
as the industry of corporate food chains, and all the chemicals and
But see, I
negative.
don't think that that's a part of the government's agenda.
Oh,
Y
right,
It would have to be, like, private funded programs, like, by the community,
right,
Not
right.
so much government, um,
Oh, exactly.
you
Yeah.
know,
we're
thing.
we're working towards more self-governance.
Mhm. Well, we hope. But we need to help each other,
Exactly. It's an exciting time when you get your perspective on, do you really want it to stay the way it's been with the absurd corruption and absurd abuses and secrets? Or let's root it all out, sift through it and keep the good and let the negative,
Well,
Go out to
unfortunately, I
sea.
think there's still, like, more to come, and maybe
Absolutely.
astrologically you can, maybe vouch for that.
It
Um,
absolutely is. We are only getting started. You know,
yeah,
that conjunction in December of 2019,
mhm,
Pluto and Saturn, that was the beginning. And these are outer planets that move very slow, right? Saturn in
mhm.
Pisces, it's been 28 years since that. And we've come back to it. Saturn is back into Pisces. So this is about uh, healing, uh, holistic healing, spiritual healing, compassion. I think you're going to see a lot more uh, lawsuits and corruption against pharmaceuticals and this whole moneymaker called the opiate pandemic, right? Where, pharmaceutical, it's really, really, when you think about it, pretty diabolical what's been manipulated. I want to be careful what I say, but
Yeah, and we can talk about that if we wanna go live, in other platforms,
yeah,
to talk about those things.
yeah. But it's a good, I guess my point I would like to make is amidst all the shifting planets into different signs and all of the chaos that it might present, to keep calm, keep tuned into your own instinct. And, if you have to just, go be in nature and breathe to sort of weather a storm, right? Take your little sabbaticals, even if it's, maybe if you live in a crowded area and there's nowhere to go to be alone, you can be alone in your shower, right? Water is very conducive to your electrical magnetic energy that surrounds your body.
Mhm.
Make that mental intention of the negative energy within your aura is going down the drain, right? Do a nice cleansing with your salt bomb, your bath bombs and salt baths. It really means getting down to the basics, that we are made up of water, electricity, and light. And the things that cleanse are water and light, um, to help that electrical connection be humming, right? Our auras should be humming. If you're not humming, then do something like break a sweat, break a sweat, the scrub tile, take a run, whatever way you like to break a sweat. That is what helps move on the blockages in your chakras and auric energy.
Also, it's really good, like, I mean, even this is, like, kinda cliche, but having to do yoga,
Yeah,
on a daily basis is actually good, and you don't have to have a full blown out yoga session. You can
right.
just do basic, stretches like Tai Chi or something like that. Yeah, it just
Intermittent fasting,
mhm.
doing a water fast. Um, you know, I think it's a time of getting back to the basics of, a holistic lifestyle where, you know, you're more tuned in, the more cleansed you feel. Um,
Or you can try my colon cleanse.
do you have a colon cleanse?
Yes, I do.
Oh my
You can
God.
find it over on my Etsy shop or on foxyteas.com. Yeah, it's called Night Cleanse, but it's a colon cleanse.
Well, there you go. So, I
Mhm.
mean, we can do a lot very simply and back to the basics that will make us feel a lot better about, instead of like in this sort of anxious knot of, oh, waiting for the next foot to drop or shoe to drop or foot to drop.
No, we don't need none of that.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that. But anyway,
Yeah, I couldn't believe that I read that article. I was like, "What in the world is" I don't know. I don't even know if it's a credible source, but I was like, "Oh, it's entertaining." Like, read it anyways.
it's scary to think.
Well, I did read another article, and this is about, I think it was on CNN's website, but they found another planet that looks like it has life on it, very similar to planet Earth, and something about it having like, getting, I guess, like, I don't know if it's a part of the sun's solar system or if
Right.
there's like a duplicate elsewhere, but I did read something of that nature. It's like 3 light years away.
Well, and then that brings us to the contemplation of, that we are behind some kind of ice wall, some kind of firmament.
Mhm. Snow
The
globe.
Yeah, like peeling back the curtain to see that there are thousands of other galaxies and there are thousands of other species and planets. And
Well, I think that that's how, like, religion would kinda lose its stronghold because of what it was teaching.
yeah, right. And all of these are the things coming up, right?
Mhm.
All of these veils of illusion. And so um, I think we just need to work on our energy feeling like a solid foundation. A lot of that has to do with, addressing any repressed anger, um, and, you know, trying to, I think something in our society tries to make us um, deny negative emotions, right? So it's only natural that there would be positive and negative emotions. So if you feel depressed, we're kind of taught to take a pill or, don't be sad or don't. And I really think that the healing comes from, sit with the feeling and let your mind try to analyze, how did that feeling ever start? And allowing your mind to bring up the memories that were maybe really painful and
Mhm.
then lift them up to a perception of light in your mind to transmute them. And I'm not saying that you do that one time and then all your problems go away. It is a practice, it is an ongoing purging and cycle. And I think that as we speak to the different astrological patterns, they're going to trigger the same dreams and same emotions and what people call coincidence, right? So when you
Mhm.
have your chart and you have an eclipse at, say, 19 degrees Aries, where is 19 degrees in your chart?
So
And
is this like at the time of birth? Is that how you find where these, degree points are?
I don't think yes, that would be a beginning, but that chart progresses.
Mhm.
So it could be by progression. And then how does that progressed eclipse point relate back to the natal chart? My philosophy and teaching that I came up with, nothing in any chart, solar return, um, relationship chart, progress chart, transiting chart, it only has meaning when it relates back to the natal chart. So it's really not one thing to look at, but sort of a combination. And then the bottom line is, how are you feeling? You
Mhm.
know, everybody expresses their transits and energies differently, right? And I just think one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that, like grief, for instance. So you can grieve and think that you're all grieved out, and it could be, 20 years later, and the slightest shift of energy might trigger that grief point. And so then you're walking around wondering, why am I thinking about that? or a dream. Why did I have that dream again? And quite often you can find that in these charts as to what's going on in the heavens and how it relates to your natal and progressed chart.
I
So,
can tell you what, and this is kind of off topic, but this past week, I had a dream about a camera that I could use to do like filming, right? I know this is so nerdy, but I woke up and I remembered that dream, and it was a Coolpix um, camera. So I did my research. I was like, okay, what's the latest in Coolpix? So that actually led me to what was actually the thing to use in 2023. I was like, man, I was like, why would I dream something like that in my dream? And it's led me to this because I'm just looking at it out of curiosity because now my curiosity is be like, why would I dream about that? And I found some interesting video equipment that is much better. And it was like 3 to 4 thousand bucks. And I'm like, wow, that's expensive.
right, right.
I mean, I have like my old school like Nikon camera that is still pretty decent. It does the job, but they always come out with these newer cameras that have like better functions and
Right.
geared for today. And I was like, wow. I was like, my camera back in the day costed the same amount, but now it's not worth that much.
As, yeah.
Yeah, but this one is nice and it's the same price. So I know the value of it. It's great, but anyways, just going off topic. I had a dream like that, so I had to
Well,
share.
maybe you could help me analyze my dream I had the other night.
Okay, what was it?
It was so weird. And I was in a place full like a dog daycare place. And I
Okay.
was talking to human people, and we all had our fur children running around. And my fur child was out in this area, and I felt comfortable, like he was safe and he was playing with other dogs. And I go to walk outside, and there's this really tall fence, like a chain link fence, probably like 16 feet high.
Mhm.
And coming running towards the fence is a camel. And the camel jumps this real tall fence and tumbles, and on this side where we're standing falls on its back and is spread eagle, a camel on its back. And we're standing there going, is it hurt? Is it okay? And in the
Uh-huh.
meantime, I'm starting to feel anxiety about my dog kind of far away.
Mhm.
And the next thing I know, a train comes barreling down the tracks between me and where the dogs are. And I'm thinking, why would they have a train track in the middle of a doggy daycare? The
Uh-huh.
dogs could get killed by the train. And I'm
Right.
starting to get all this anxiety, and I'm looking at this camel on its back, trying to figure out if it's okay. And that was my dream. Okay,
There,
y'all,
there was a
go
lot of
go
stuff.
for it. Tell
Yeah,
me.
there was a lot of stuff that I needed to take notes actually. But
Now that
okay.
was several days ago, and I'm still remembering it. So it was a pretty incredible dream.
Oh, that must have been the same time I dreamt of that camera. So
Right.
okay, so this is let me see if I can dissect it. So you love your dogs as children and they are
Yeah.
very near and dear to you.
Yes.
And you felt protected, okay? You had a barbed wire out and even surrounding this whole compound, like doggy daycare compound, right? And then there's this camel that comes out of nowhere. The
Yes.
camel is an animal that is very resilient. They can withstand a lot, with very little. And for it to like penetrate the security and kind of flop there,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel as secure. You know what I mean? Because the camel is, first of all, very resilient, and there is a barbed wire fence, and it passed that,
Right over it. Yeah.
and now there's a train that is coming through that's separating maybe
Yeah.
you and your precious, you know,
Yes.
doggies.
Yes.
So I just feel like there's a lot that's actually going on, and it's about your safety and security, and
Yes.
all you want is just to feel safe with your doggies. That's it.
Excellent. Yes, you're exactly right.
Yeah. I don't know, at least that's how I feel. But it's kinda ironic because I was watching something on Netflix, and you were talking about how we're being programmed, about, like, stuff from Hollywood and stuff like that. Well, I was watching this, show, it's called Sense8, and it's about psychics and stuff, like, being able to, like, really psychically, connect with other people across the world, and you just don't know why. You actually
Right.
can see them, you can like see what they're looking at. And this is very similar to our psychic community, which has some credibility, right? As
Right.
far as, because this is like remote viewing and stuff like that, but they're not labeling it like that in the program. So I was watching that, and you know what? There is this one dude who was trying to break open a safe. Okay, and he has these clairvoyant capabilities. He was hearing sirens, like police, and he's actually doing criminal activity. So he was actually being paranoid. He cuts off and watches like a music program, and that the music is the thing that actually calms his nerves down. But then he kind of relapses and has like a memory of his father who he hates. And yeah, so it was about him on stage and singing. And that's why he loves these singing programs. It's something he enjoys. So while he was in the middle of trying to rob like this safe, he had to cut on the thing. And then there was a lady who was singing, and the guy liked that female who was singing. And he immediately told his friend, he said, no, she's not going to win the competition, because it was like a singing contest TV show. And he says, she looks like a camel, and camels don't win. So, I mean, I had to bring up the camel because I watched it last night, but
That's so weird.
that wasn't the message I got when you were telling me that. So I wanted to hold it to, like, after I explained what I was thinking about. But it was a
Your whole thing
coincidence.
about camels being resilient is right on.
Yeah. Yeah, because like they're in the freaking desert and you rely on the camel, and that thing was laying on its back. And what do like the nomads use, for transportation?
Right.
A freaking camel, like, and the camel, like, it went through,
That's
but it couldn't go anymore. So, but yeah.
so we still have, let's see, let me just double check before I speak wrong. We still have um mm, yeah, we still have Neptune in its home of Pisces, 25 degrees. So, you know, dreams, when a planet is in its home sign, it's really comfortable and resonates that energy. So Neptune is in Pisces, been in Pisces. So I feel like we've all been like gleaning more information from our subconscious through our dreams, and it's like that dream, until you said it, I couldn't make heads or tails of it, but the way you said it, you're exactly right on.
Mhm.
Exactly right on. But it was just one of those weird, tumbly, like weird dreams that, for days I've been like kind of replaying it in my head, like,
So
what?
that's the thing, we as a human collective, we're all interconnected, especially with our states of consciousness. And the thing is that we all should be of one. We should all be
Right,
interdependent, not really codependent on one another.
right,
So it's
right.
just, we're here for each other, like,
Play up our gifts, help
yeah.
others, when they feel, you know, we all have strengths and weaknesses. And so, I think another big lesson of all these changes is allowing people to help us, right?
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
get very stubborn and sort of hard headed about, especially, you know, today's society. We've kind of been forced to be suck it up, buttercup. And it's hard when you get in that resilient mode for your security and protection for so long that the whole vibe of someone wanting to help, where there's been so much corruption and sneakiness in our society. It's like, is that legitimate? Is that, you know um like you were talking about private funding for community gardens. I mean, you know university put up grants for different projects, and that's been on my brain lately, is to try to research grants available. Years ago, grants were available for beekeeping because the bee population has decreased so much, and I really wanted to like go to school and learn beekeeping, even though they kind of terrify me.
Now,
But I
what you
wanted
need
to
to
get through
do
that
now,
fear.
this is what you need to do. You need to get on with your local honey person. Okay, there's probably several.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I was in North Carolina and, I got introduced to 2 different beekeepers in my area, and, yeah, I got to learn a lot from them. And so, I just know that they have, like, a piece of land, and
Yeah.
they, put their hives out there near, like, wildflowers and stuff. So there's different types of flowers that you want your bees.
Oh, right, for them to pollinate and
Yeah, mhm, and so, and there's different types of hives that you could set up, and also, I didn't know this, but this is what the beekeeper that I was speaking to, he would take the bee honey, okay, wipe off the bees and get the bee honeys and, replace it with a new filter and put corn syrup in place of it. Now, I don't know if that's ethical, like, you know what I mean? Like, but this guy told me how he did it, I was like, "Oh, is that how you," but he had the best tasting honey out of all the honeys that, um, I've tried, and his is wildflower honey. That's how I remember, because I was just
right.
listening to how he was doing his.
Oh, your sound turned off.
Oh, did it?
There you go.
Is it back on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what you need to do is go to your local farmers market, see who's selling honey, introduce yourself. You don't even say, "Hey, I want to learn your secret." Get to know them and visit them, like, often. And
Yeah.
then once you get acquainted with who the person is, just say, "Hey, well, I'm interested in learning how to make honey." I'm just saying. Pollinate the colony. Like, because they get their queen bees from, I wanna say, Hawaii. That's where the guy that gets his queens,
So this
he
is going
orders
on
the
like
queen
a
from
Godzilla
Hawaii.
movie.
Oh, is it?
So something when your mic went off and came back on, now there's a long delay.
Oh, is it? Oh. Well, I don't know what it could be. Can you hear me?
Can hear you, yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, the
Maybe
queen
that's our
queen comes from
sign.
Hawaii, as far as I know. I don't know. Oh, is it time for the cards?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. So we can go ahead and get started. So let's see. At least you know what you sound like, Sunny. Your image and sound are delayed. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
Chewbacca
hearing
had mentioned it.
myself on your end. Myself on your end. Ever
Oh,
since your
that's
mic went off.
strange.
Ever since your mic went off.
Hmm. Hello.
What causes a delay, I
Oh, I
wonder?
just
What
know.
causes a delay, I wonder?
I don't know. Isn't Mercury retrograde around the corner?
It is around the corner. It is around the corner.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know. Well, as long as you guys can hear me, then we'll kind of go through this real quick. So, um, let me do this. Let's see here. Book a reading like that. We got that one, and here we go. Aries.
Aries has a lot going on
Right?
right now. A lot going on right now.
I can feel it because my mic is all jacked up, and I was trying to talk about the bees.
The birds and the bees are a
Oh my
Libra
god!
thing. The birds and the bees are a Libra thing.
I wish you could see my Luna's face. She's got that look. Like, don't you see I'm right here next to you? Anyway, let's see, Aries. What do you need to know?
Aries.
Oh, I have 4 of Raphael. It says, seek out the possibilities, look at the magic in life, and be aware of your own emotions.
And I have judgment, rebirth. I have judgment, rebirth.
Oh, wow. Hmm.
Yeah, some new beginnings.
Well, Aries.
Some new beginnings.
Yeah, do you see those shells?
Yes.
And then there's
Yes.
Archangel Raphael. Isn't he like the angel of love? Just
I think so. I think so.
yeah. Aries, you've been feeling down and out about some external situation, but there's like little dragonflies there. And you need to seek out other possibilities. Stop looking at what's in front of you and um,
Look
don't let
up.
your emotions get to the best of you.
Look up.
Yeah. I mean, and Archangel Michael is sitting there saying, "Hey, look at this beautiful ocean. You need to go on vacation."
Raphael. Raphael.
Oh yeah, Raphael.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think judgment
so
means like something ending and the soul is reborn to start something new. A new cycle. A new cycle.
and maybe Aries, your ego is actually getting in the way, like being like critical of yourself and your feelings. Really just break free. Like it's okay to feel these things, but once, you take a look at the situation, then look for other possibilities. That's what I have. Try not to like, I don't know, because Aries,
And you're
aren't you the
protected.
person that likes to go
And you're
out and
protected.
look for opportunity? Yeah. Try
Yeah.
not to overthink it.
Yeah.
Just saying. I know it's rough, Aries. We're all feeling it too.
Look at Chewbacca is like making fun of us. Chewbacca is like making fun of us.
What is she saying? I can't see.
This will require, let's see, you'll speak over yourself. This will require timing and looks like a 3-second
Oh,
delay.
looks like a 3-second delay. Mm. Well, let me see if I can. No, because that'll cut off. Hold on. Is that any better?
Excellent. Yes.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, I just need another confirmation. Okay.
Yes.
Shabaka, is that better?
You fixed it.
Okay. I think I changed it earlier on and I changed it back. So I don't know.
It's magic.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Awesome.
All's good.
All right. So let's now that we're on to Taurus.
The
Taurus
bull.
Taurus is going through financial issues this month. That's just
Yes.
have to say that. Oh my god.
We've got quite a lot going on in Taurus with Mercury, North Node, Venus, Uranus. So that's sudden happenings that get you to your fated purpose.
Well, in my reading today with Taurus, it was sudden, like, and if they had money owed to them, they're not getting it. Like, that's what I saw. So, it's time to open up towards other opportunities also. Oh, the magician. Oh, interesting. I have two cards. Knight of Gabrielle and Epiphany. So,
Well, the magician is having all the tools you need to manifest that which you desire. As above, so is below.
mhm. And this Knight of Gabrielle, it says, time to take action, great passion for cause, instinctively knowing just what to do. So feel confident, enthusiastic, courageous, and charismatic. And also with this Epiphany, Archangel Raziel, it says, joy through spiritual growth, be a light to others, answers that come through meditation. That's actually really good.
It is.
So, in the midst of all the chaos, I hope that you embrace this epiphany moment and just do it. Okay, don't procrastinate. Just do it. Take
Yeah,
action.
Taurus is a way of being stubborn, and so they don't like things to be spontaneous or sudden and tend to dig their heels in. And this energy would say, with the North Node there, follow that hand of God, follow that premonition or something that leads you to a greater love and opportunity. Because Venus is at home in Taurus, so Taurus's love life
Should be spicy.
should be nice.
Well, that's good, but I just feel like don't miss out on the opportunity if it's spicy. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Don't be too stubborn.
Right. And don't ask them to go bring you a plate of food, like can you go bring me some wine, darling? What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you want? A bottle of wine and some cheese
Chocolate.
to go with your order? Like,
Yeah.
just saying. So next we have Gemini. Oh, okay. Well, I have the moon.
Oh. And I have justice.
Oh, wow. Huh. So it says the opportunity to improve your plans, listen to your intention for accurate guidance, and face your fears and grow stronger. Hmm.
Wow. And justice is this Libra full moon. So Geminis who may have been caught up in some kind of legal wrangling should get some kind of resolution.
Yeah, I mean, it may seem difficult, and we all been there, but I think the outcome will be okay. You have to just seize the moment and not really let your fears and anxieties get in the way. Again, just do it. I just keep getting like this energy, just do it. I know. I know.
Mars is in Gemini right now. So that could be,
Ugh.
kind of get the feeling of a hockey goalie kind of defending against a couple of different incoming issues.
Yeah, like getting hit left side and all over the place.
All right, Cancer. So you did Cancer twice this week. They must need some love.
Yeah, it was like an up and down thing. Like, yeah, they're gonna meet their person, and then it's like, oh, but you meet their family, and it's not how you had imagined it would be. Like, oh, like what?
Never mind.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Oh my goodness. So the world for Cancer, some
Oh,
kind of
wow.
completion. And it's the egg right here at Easter. So some kind of resurrection, maybe.
I don't know. I want to say making babies. Oh, look, we have your King of Raphael. So it says
Wow.
warm, generous, honorable, refined. Yes, it's safe to trust the ability to accomplish many things at once. Follow your creative passions. Oh, so the world is your oyster, Cancer. Hmm. Especially in love, too. So
Yeah.
whatever this thing is, it's safe to trust it. It doesn't look great, but you gotta at least go with your gut instinct on this one. That's what I feel. It's gonna be okay. King of Raphael.
More than okay.
I would say.
Yeah.
I think
This
that
is a
Cancer is really like always on guard,
this is a lot
but
of divine protection and uh, divine order, divine manifestation.
yeah, just do it, Cancer. Go for it. I mean, if you're going to have the opportunity to cross paths with this person or somehow like you guys get to talk to each other, just trust. It may not look great, but it will. It's happening the way it's supposed to happen. Okay. So next I have Leo.
Leo, what's going on for the Libra full moon, Leo? That's fire and air. That should be pretty interesting,
Yeah,
pretty
what I
creative. Oh, I love it. The star.
Oh, okay. I think what I got in my reading this week was Leo needs to let other people help them.
Ah,
Yeah, and ooh, look at this, Queen of Gabrielle. Passionate, charming, brilliant, and independent. And it says you can do anything right now. Go after what you want. The ability to attract helpful people. Wow. Ah, so your wish may come true. Like if you're looking for help, that help is around the corner.
I was looking for a assistance with replacing HVAC, and a
Hmm.
woman appraiser came who has the same name as my mother.
Oh, well, isn't that a coincidence?
And I really liked a woman. Um, they walk around and they analyze and they tell you what they think. And I really liked it coming from a woman because it felt very frank and matter of fact, as opposed to um, sometimes those men can be like, oh, you're just a little old woman who doesn't know anything. And
Hmm.
so, anyway, I'm going to go with the one named like my mom.
Well, it worked out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go.
So it's in process anyway.
Well, she was trying to help.
Yeah, she did. So
Okay.
what is this? You marry into a family, but you're in love with one. You can't escape family. So, I'm long time divorced, but I do remember when I was getting married, and I had some reservations because of the family. There was a
Oh man.
religious element. I wasn't converting, and the mother kind of had an issue with that. And supposedly my ex-husband didn't, but since we're divorced, maybe he did. But I remember my mom, when I was expressing hesitation to my mother, she said, "Well, you know, you're not marrying the family." And that's a nice thought, but
No, that
really
didn't that's not
contradicts.
how it works.
I know. You like to think that's true, but really, especially when they're in the same town and holidays and all that kind of crap.
No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I had a comical ex mother-in-law who uh, could quote scripture to you and was very hostile towards her husband and sons when they wanted to drink a beer to watch football. And one Thanksgiving, when I was walking into the kitchen, I caught her taking a sip out of a fifth of vodka.
Oh, well, look
Yeah.
at that.
So, she didn't like them drinking beer. I wonder if they'd been swigging out of a bottle of vodka if she knew.
I know, right?
She kept it hidden in her towel drawer. I was like, what a hypocrite.
I know. Well, liquor does it quicker, right? Is that how
I
the saying goes?
guess.
Like,
I guess. But boy, she was a piece of work. My father was making fun of her walking me down the aisle. It was really, when
what?
I think about it now, it was really, it would be like a comedy sitcom if you really heard it from beginning to end.
Mhm. No,
Yeah.
I mean, that was my situation between me and my ex-husband too.
Yeah.
So, the irony is that both of them have the same birthdays, and they seem to be getting along, and they
Oh,
seem to tag team me, but the very reason is that my ex-husband couldn't stand my family, especially my mom. Imagine 2 Virgos, like, trying to duke it out. That is not a pretty sight.
two Virgos can get kind of mean between them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, but then they make up, and I'm like, "Are you crazy? Like, you guys are bipolar. Like, one minute you guys are fighting and choking each other out, and next thing it's like, 'Oh, what do you want for dinner?'" Like, and I'm sitting here on, like, in the middle,
In the
and I'm like,
middle.
I don't get it. It's like this family's messed up. And speaking of which, we gotta go on to Virgo.
All right. Well,
Uh,
Virgo's had a tough start to the year, I think.
I think Virgos have it rough all year, like, every
So I'm getting the Empress for Virgo, which would
Oh,
be
okay.
new love and fertility and harvest and good things coming, Empress.
Oh, yeah, and maybe some of y'all might be having babies, right? I have
Or
2 of my
birthing a
own.
new project.
Yeah, 2 of Swords. So, kind of like, it says, "It will all be better if you just make a decision. Over analyzing a problem, find a compromise."
Oh gosh, that's so Virgo.
So, if you wanna grow something, you gotta make a decision. You can't just, make your list and say, "Well, everything doesn't check out, so I don't think I'm gonna move forward." Like, no, you hurry up and make a decision. You have to
Analysis
find
paralysis.
Yeah, find compromise and just do it. Just do it. If you wanna start something new, I mean, you gotta start somewhere. You can't just
The Empress to me represents a very, creative energy, maybe channel some of that anxiety into some kind of project,
I'm
something
getting, like,
creative.
more of a mothering feeling, you know?
Well, maybe Virgo needs to go to the spa this weekend, do some nurturing.
Yeah, that sounds yeah, they need that. I'll vouch for that. Isn't Mother's Day around the corner too?
I think it's like the second week of May. Where are we?
Oh, we're in April.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
we
about a
still
month
we still
away.
need, Easter.
Yeah. We're on,
No, May is oh yeah, it is Mother's Day because that's my dad's birthday.
yeah.
He has
It's
his
usually
birthday always
around the
on.
10th or so, or
Yeah, that's my dad's birthday, the 10th.
is it really?
Yeah. So, okay. So now we have Libra.
Libra full moon. They should be very, very busy. Very busy, Libra.
Yeah, what you got going on this weekend?
Oh my goodness.
What is that? I can't see.
Tolerance,
Oh,
temperance,
temperance.
keeping balance.
Oh man. So I have a decision and 10 of Michael, which is 10 of swords.
Wow.
Wow, that's exactly it. Wow.
Yeah, full moon in Libra for Libras should bring some things to a head.
Well, if it's a decision, release yourself from that which holds you back. You need to detox unnecessary worry based on lack of self confidence. And a situation has ended and you are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now follow. Put the past behind you. So there's a decision that you need to make. You need to put closure on something. Okay. And it's time for a new beginning, and maybe you had to temper how you feel about
Yeah.
this. It's not easy. I get that. Um,
And
mm
again, with this angel, there is an implication of divine protection.
hmm Yeah, I feel that. I mean, there's all kinds of angel, Archangel Jophiel, and you making that choice. It's time to exit the stage. And like, there's two swans on that um, stage over there. So if this is about your twin, um, I don't know, make a choice. Don't let it hold you back and go for the new opportunity. Put the past behind you. If the twin is supposed to make it into your life, they will come back. That's what I'm feeling. But it may not be right now. You just have to end something, make a decision. And
Such
it'll be
decisions.
okay. Yeah, I feel like endings bring new beginnings, and it may not be in the way that you expected, but that's the beauty of how things are, like manifest into your life. The things that, you didn't think that would be great, it actually is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been there. Trust me.
Such decisions. I
I know.
always, my thing lately about decisions, because there's been a lot of them, is just sleep on it. And then
Mhm.
whatever is first on the mind before you've been up too long to talk yourself out of something or overthink it, um, just go with what's fresh on your mind when you wake up. And don't try to, you know, we get so caught up in the what ifs, like trying to make a decision on, well, if I choose this, what if? And we get too far down the road where we need to just be thinking about now.
Spontaneous.
What's my choices now?
Well,
And
that's the thing about Libra too. Libra is a lot like Virgo. They think too much.
yeah,
Just saying. It's okay. I have a
Libra
little
wants
Libra
to
in my chart.
party and socialize and, organize social activities and be the social director. And
Mhm.
they
It's
don't,
okay. You can
yeah.
have your fun. Make a choice to have fun. How's that?
Somebody's starting a catering business. This is about the third time that's come in my brain while we've been here.
Oh wow.
Catering.
It's probably because of Easter,
Yeah.
and this is like one of those seasonal things where you could like really capitalize on the
It's
holidays.
also a big season for proms and weddings.
Mhm.
We
I
are
get
on
that.
Scorpio.
Yeah, Scorpio.
I got the Hanged Man.
Huh, well, I have the world and the 7 of Gabrielle, which is the 7 of wands.
So
Hmm.
Scorpio is real deep and serious contemplation.
This one, I have two messages that says stand up for what you believe in, have confidence, and claim your personal power, especially if you feel like you've been competing against other people. And with Archangel Michael, it says there's going to be a happy ending, coming full circle, spiritual growth and insight. So with the world, okay, um, maybe whatever you're thinking or need time to really reflect on is you just have to believe. Okay.
You know, I've been saying that saying for a few days, coming full circle.
Mm-hmm.
A lot is coming full circle. I feel like the Hanged Man and Scorpio with this full moon, they need a little isolation.
I was about to say that's where the foot came from. So
That is too weird. We must investigate. We must investigate. Feet washing up on the shore. Oh
yeah,
my
stand up
God.
if you still have them.
I just don't even, I just, my mind can go really bad places with that.
I know, honey. I'm sorry I brought it up.
I'm glad you did. I kind of want to try to figure that one out.
Well, if I was into like forensics and stuff, I'd be like
Well,
out
no,
there.
I keep thinking of things like, remember that movie Fargo where they tried to put the guy in the wood chipper?
Oh God,
I mean,
meat
how else
grinder.
would you end up with severed feet if there wasn't a chipper involved?
Well, the cleaner crew didn't do a good job. Like,
God.
the other thing that came to mind is, sometimes I've seen in cases where they put the bodies with a block of cement.
Oh,
You know,
right.
you know what I
Right.
mean?
And
Like
so
what
this
happened
would have
there?
been found, these were washed up in the Pacific Ocean off of
Yeah.
down in Washington. Okay. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to look into that. I will report, I will have a forensics report with our next show.
Yeah, and see if it's
That is just
hogwash.
bizarre.
I don't know
And
what nuclear.
17. I mean,
Yeah,
what a
17
number.
feet. Like, and I don't know if it's like from
I mean,
various
that's a
people,
missing foot right there.
or it's just 1 foot from each. Maybe it's like a serial like like thing.
Foot
I don't
fetish. It's a foot fetish serial killer.
It's like they got a taste of the foot and like they're like sawed it.
Or maybe it's like cannibals living off the coast and the feet are just too tough to eat.
Well, that could have been that oh, what is it? Lifetime series. I didn't watch that one, but hey, if that's
Oh
how,
my God, my mind goes so many places with that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
I know.
God. All right, Sagittarius, we have death.
Oh, and I have 8 of Raphael, which is 8 of Cups. If I can focus. There is something better waiting for you. Do what you know
Yes.
is right for you, a spiritual quest. And I guess that's where you're going through that transformation.
And getting down to the bone of the matter. Yeah.
Interesting.
Getting authentic about something.
So this is about money. Leaving the money behind for something that you need to trust on.
Yeah,
These,
and this guy kind of looks like that warrior, you know.
mhm.
This
Well, I mean, you're already dead. I mean, just
what have you got to lose?
I know, like just cross the bridge, You already paid the toll.
Yes.
You can leave your money behind and just trust.
Yes.
So,
Go
Sag,
forth and conquer.
if you've been thinking about money and how much it's going to cost to go to places and you've been wanting to go, just go.
Be
Like,
free. Sag just wants to be free.
mhm. That's what I see. It'll be all right.
Maybe
It'll
go
come.
more spec writing.
Yeah, that could be a thing. So, Next, we have Capricorn.
Maybe you'll meet a sexy centaur.
Yeah, in our dreams. You
I'd
know,
like to dream about a centaur. Let's try to manifest that.
a centaur? Oh, they're real.
Dreaming about one.
No,
Look,
they're
I got the
real.
devil.
Oh, look at that. The devil. Oh, is that what the devil looks like in that deck?
Yes.
I never seen it. That's the first time I think I've seen the devil from that lover's deck.
Bondage.
I mean, that is Capricorn, right?
It is.
Well, I have Knight of Ariel, and this is the Knight of Pentacles, and it says trustworthy, understanding, devoted, and funny. There's so much to accomplish. Make a very detailed plan and being watched over by someone kind.
Wow.
So,
That's pretty intense, Cappy.
Knight of Ariel. So slow and steady wins the race. Um,
So the full moon would be making a square to Capricorn sun, and that's a lot of pressure, putting a lot of pressure on myself,
well, I
feeling
see that
stressed out.
there's this angel that is picking up the money, and I feel like this Knight of Ariel is the person that is riding a horse.
Yeah.
So money will come to you if you're just looking at the whole financial aspect, that there's so much to do and so little time. I really feel like the angel is going to grant you what you need. Okay, like you're being watched by someone through the ethers. So trust and live a little, like be lighthearted about, I don't know, at least this weekend.
With moderation.
Yeah, I mean,
Not too much wine.
yeah, everything's gonna be okay. I don't know. Capricorn.
Everything in moderation is what I get.
Yeah. I mean, don't go too slow or too fast.
Yeah.
It's all
Steady
gonna
as
work
she
out.
goes.
So next we have Aquarius.
Yes. Pluto in Aquarius, early degree. This is going to be an interesting generation in our lives for the next few years.
Uh,
Pluto. A lot about what your moral values are about freedom and independence.
oh wow, we have the sun and moon. Hmm.
Wow.
It's yin yang. Balance.
Happiness.
Yeah, and
Wishes fulfilled.
masculine, feminine energy here. It says the opportunity to improve your plans, listen to your intuition for accurate guidance, face your fears and grow stronger.
Never forget it's never too late for a happy second childhood.
Yeah, so there should be a sense of clarity coming towards you, Aquarius, about like a new project. You should actually, whatever you've been thinking about, you should actually go for it. That's what I feel. There's an opportunity for you to improve those plans, so follow your gut instinct on it. You're getting the clarity that you need. So do it.
Feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It feels unique.
I feel like
Aquarius.
Aquarius, like this is Aquarius time to
Yes, I
really
definitely feel that.
shine, I guess, with the sunshine.
Yeah.
Okay. So finally we have Pisces.
The tower.
Oh my God. Okay. Let it be great, Pisces. Let it be great.
Yeah. The universal 2x4. You've been procrastinating too long.
Wow, look at this. I have here a leap of faith, which is the Fool card.
Wow.
So, hmm. Believe in
So
yourself. Listen to your heart and do what gives you joy. Maybe you don't have faith. I don't know. Are you afraid? Are you in your feelings?
Or have you been overindulging in the spirits and not doing what you need to do? And so the universe comes along and makes sure you move along your path.
Well, that's what I was saying. This is the perfect like Pisces fairy tale fantasy. They have a dog, a little border collie, and there's the sunlight, shining on the backside of this guy, and he's walking down the path, and yeah, he looks interested. But is this like you need to? I think Pisces is scared of having this new beginning. You can do it, Pisces. Just listen to your heart.
Yeah,
Follow your heart.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You'll be all right. Drink
And
water.
just as an extra, this was on the bottom. The
Oh,
hermit.
the hermit. Yeah, that's what they act like right now. Stop thinking too much. Just do it.
Stop thinking too much. Stop drinking too much.
Mhm. Your brain is melting from all those Lysol fumes, 30 bins that have sanitized and itemized. You're almost moving. This life is a good relief. Well, I'm glad that we're helping you offset your moving. And get this, okay? Like I recently watched this girl on this channel and she lives in Korea. Get this. If you live in Korea, okay, they have movers that are okay, listen, I'm talking, okay? They have movers that will move your stuff for you with a truck and bins. But all you have to do is just all you have to do is feed them and give them drinks.
Wow.
Can you believe that? That is the Korean way. And I'm like, damn. I was like, well, if you need a move, it's kind of like more of a humanitarian, like helping the friendly
Help each
neighbor.
other out.
Yeah, and I was like, they came out with a big mover truck and everything, and I'm like, wow, they don't have that in America. Everything is like all for money and for profit. Like nobody just wants to bring their truck out and say, hey, load it up. We got plastic bins and we'll move it all. And this is the thing, they will pack all your stuff, okay? And then in the new house, they will unload it. They will put it back in the house for you in
Nice.
places where it's very similar to your old location. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, and for the people that live like an apartment, there's a ladder that goes straight up to the window, and it's like a machine, and the thing goes up and down. I was like, what is that? I've never seen that before. I was like amazed. I was like, man, I just feel like Americans, or just how America operates, we just don't do that. And I don't know why. It's just everybody's moving out for themselves. You have to get a truck. You have to like do X, Y, and Z, you know?
Then you've got the Amish. Don't they all come together and help build each other's barns? I
Yeah.
mean,
So
I
that,
guess what I was thinking is there's pockets of that. I know recently where I live, I've been feeling this sort of humanitarian vibe because there's a man who he loves his, I call him the spaceman. It's one of those blowers you wear on your back and it's really powerful. And he'll blow the whole street, not just his little patch of yard or whatever, but
and he must be a Virgo because he want the whole damn street clean.
you know what?
Can't have those leaves blowing down my driveway.
I
Like,
honestly don't know what he is.
I think he is because he is that anal retentive. Like, but they're so perfectionist. Like they don't if it's involving in their curb appeal.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you have homeowners association and stuff like that.
No, no, but it is a lot of woods and leaves pile up on the road and they do
Mhm.
get kind of slick.
Okay.
And yeah, and it's at a dead end, and there's a bunch of old people in the dead end who can't any longer get out and clean
Oh,
like that.
wow.
And yeah, and he's not done it just once or twice. And he's been keeping my area blown off too, which is just, I keep thinking of that humanitarian thing. And
Well, you know what you need to do if you have an extra plate, for Easter and say, "Hey,
yeah,
I don't know if you want it, but"
his wife might not appreciate that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
But I do remember not too long ago, there was a horrendous storm where a couple of trees came down on over the roads, and all you heard were chainsaws, and it was people just got out with their chainsaws and started helping each other.
Mhm.
And so I do think there are pockets of this trend of humanitarianism, and we've just begun. Like it can only get like more of a movement and stronger.
Mhm.
And we're part of that, right? So the little things that we can do every day in our life to help someone, or even saying good morning, have a good day, all those little, oh, this was kind of cool. So there was a fashion show recently in this area, and the theme was let's get back to pretty.
Okay, so what's pretty?
Well, it might be a generational thing,
Mhm.
but I've just noticed that COVID really got people into their sweatpants and pajamas. And after COVID, they're still in their sweatpants and pajamas.
Mhm.
And I felt like that theme was trying to be the message, get out of your pajamas,
Mm.
you know, get out of your pajamas, get back to pretty. Because haven't you ever noticed, like, when you're out somewhere and you're like bumming it around, people react to you differently than when you've taken a little time, you know, to get
To dress.
dressed or whatever? People respond to you differently.
Oh, yeah, and plus, I mean, even for yourself, it's like the way you walk, and it's like that energy that you have when you know that you're having a good hair day, and you're just like, "Yes."
Yes, and it's
Yes.
yes. Do you remember? I want to say it was the '90s. It was the Wonder Bra. Do you remember when that came out? And it was kind of like, supposed to like lift you up and put you out there. And I
Mhm.
did this experiment where I worked around a lot of like men in the office type environments, right?
Mhm.
And I did an experiment like days that I didn't wear the Wonder Bra. I literally would be ignored, and days that I would wear the Wonder Bra, I'd get
Uh-huh.
all this attention. It was almost
Oh.
embarrassing. And then it made me mad that it takes lifting up and putting them out there for a guy to be like courteous. Why
Well,
can't you be courteous when you're like,
that's where you know, like, men like perky boobies.
well, I'm so beyond perky anything
I know.
anymore.
I think most of us on this are,
Wonder Bra.
Wonder Bra Cindy.
But I thought that was really telling about how, people can respond to you differently based on how you, like you said, how you walk, how you put yourself out there. And so I was able to catch some of the fashion show in passing.
Mhm.
And a lot of them, well, it was like a mixture of models. I would say, because it was a modeling agency geared towards more young people, like high school, that range, like I'd say 16 to 18
Mhm.
range.
Mhm.
And then they did have some older women. So it was sort of a, a sampling of several different types of clothes and types of people.
Mhm.
And I thought it was so sad that these young people, I mean, the way they walked, they looked like they were so mad. Like they were, being pulled away from their phone and their ear pods.
Oh, like
Yeah, right. That was the last place they wanted to be. And they were all like prom is real big right now, right? So a lot of them were modeling tuxedos and formal dresses.
mhm.
And they were beautiful, right? And they were just like, I was thinking, I was watching, I was like, God,
Don't tell me
she would,
that it was a specific modeling agency and then they were out there, like,
it
promoting?
was, it was
Oh,
sponsored by one modeling agency.
that's sad.
And, the thing that struck me, because, I have nothing to do with prom or even around somebody to do anything with prom. And what struck me is these young people, it was boys and girls, what a difference their vibe would have been had they just smiled. And my whole point was just that we, in our own little way, can make a humanitarian difference to just give somebody a smile, say good morning.
I don't know what's up with that, but, none of the runway models smile.
They look miserable. They
Yeah,
need to have a
they
big
look
old
like a
chili dog.
mannequin,
Yeah.
especially if they're wearing, like, something that you can't really walk in,
Yeah. Yeah.
those designer stuff and like, "Oh, okay." And they're,
I mean, this was just like really small scale in a department store. And,
mhm.
it didn't even have like a separate runway. They rolled like a red carpet down the middle of the floor. Right. So, I mean, it was very small. And that was the thing that occurred to me is like, and then they were all like standing up there at the end in their pretty clothes and everything. And I was like, gosh, they all look so depressed and sad. And they're all dazzled and sparkly. And it's like, gosh, they would just like what their vibe would do if they would just crack a little smile.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's just how they do it.
Yeah.
But, like, if they were, like, out in the
But
open.
then when
Uh-huh.
the older women got out there who, they did like a plus size part where it was
Mhm.
older women that were heavy, man, they were like sassy and smiling and dancing to the music.
Was that a part of the modeling agency?
Yes. And the thing that I connected with that is there was some kind of article about the effects of COVID and the mental health of young people, and like mental health problems in that age range of teenagers has just really escalated from that isolation, that period of, closing schools, taking them out, and the struggles they've been having. And it's just so sad.
Mm.
And so I guess it's got to bottom out in order for it to regenerate and find the happy place again.
Well, let's just hope that, we have hippie children amongst them,
Yeah.
and they're gonna bring their light into,
Yes.
the world, so, all is not lost.
What I wanted to just say to one of them is, you think you're sad now. Wait till you get older. It doesn't get any easier or better.
Okay. Imma sit back
You
and
got it
sip on
made right
my
now.
little drinks back here and watch you
Yeah. You
guys
wait till you get a
handle it.
little arthritis and feeling a little
Well, they have,
low
like,
on
those,
energy.
healing centers where it's like the color therapy thing,
Yes.
and so if you have, like, any kinda ailments and stuff, then you can go visit one of those centers, and you can actually notice a physical difference by just being in that center.
And I think
So,
that's going to even grow more.
well, yeah, I think those, there are publicly funded. Again, this is not a government thing.
Right.
People are actually raising money to have these centers built in wherever, like, city, so it's really dependent on how much money that they can raise to put, like, a center in specific areas, so
I'm in.
I have still yet to visit one. There's one supposedly here, like, close to Seattle, but I've contacted them and nobody's contacting me. but I'm not like crazy enough to drive out there and say, "Hey, you're not answering my phone call." Like I need to
Well,
see
I
this.
was reading around here, it was sort of a lottery kind of way to get an appointment. Like they randomly chose people who put their name in the bucket, so to speak, because there's such a limited amount of facility and so many people that want to, you know, be part of it.
Mhm. Well, I know that they have set up one center, I think it was in Massachusetts or somewhere on the East Coast, geared towards they wanted to put one in an autistic classroom just to kind of see like what does this healing modality do for autistic children.
Yeah,
And so I was like, man, my son just needs one. Like he I mean, I'll be the guinea pig to see, how it affects me, so I know, like, what it would do for him. But, yeah, if that's it's, like, something natural, and it's just
yeah,
being in a room with those colors, and I don't know if it's like a
right.
vibration inside the room, then,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
think it's
totally
wonderful, and I think that's more and more where we're heading.
that's
And
kinda like
that's
Star
something to be
Trek, right?
excited about it.
Like, going into, like, a little room, like, just
Yeah.
sitting there going,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm good now,"
Do
like,
that
"Shit."
sound effect again. Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot to look forward to. It might get a little bumpy between point A and point B, but we're moving in a better direction.
Mm. A guy going TTs? Really? Who would have thought? Oh.
I don't know, Shabaka. I just was hoping that it wasn't true, I guess. I really didn't want to believe that, but I did that experiment and it was very disappointing results.
Mhm. I saw that, there was, like, this gentleman who is naturally, like, having saggy breasts and stuff, and yeah, so he had, like, this, therapy where they stuck a metal rod in his, bosom area.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, and he was, like, really squeamish to begin with just to be sedated, but, it was like he was, like, completely, like, aware, and so I think they just numbed him, and he was completely, like, coherent, and they stuck that thing, he just was, like, looking, and they did the whole procedure in there, and then, yeah, he's, like, flat now. Yeah.
Steel rods through your breasts?
Mhm.
Oh no. No, no, no.
Well, he didn't want the boobs, like, he would do anything to get rid of them. So,
Wow.
mhm. I
Interesting.
wonder if the hormones, like, taking hormonal pills wouldn't actually resolve that. I don't know, but I guess I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Lately, I've seen a couple of people who transitioned to their opposite sex coming out. There was a girl who transitioned to a boy, and she had a radical mastectomy, and she was on the show talking about she regrets that she won't breastfeed or so it's an interesting time in our society going through all kinds of extremes, right? All kinds of
Well,
extremes.
that's a really an interesting point, like, someone who is a male who wants to be a female, but not really thinking about childbearing. It's one thing to feel like a woman, and dress like one and talk like one, right? But what about the real reason for being a woman and it's actually to bear children? Is that something that is
You're
are they
making, well, I haven't had a movie reference tonight, so I guess I need to make sure there's a movie reference tonight. And you're making me think of the movie. It's called Trans America,
Oh,
and
there is a movie out like that?
it's kind of old. And the woman who played the lead part won an Oscar. Of some of my best friends have been gay men, and it was a gay man who told me I needed to watch it because my brother took his own life. And part of the journey to try and figure out why was possibly his feelings of uh, wishing he were a woman and not being able to process that. And so this friend told me, you need to watch Transamerica. It's a
Mhm.
really good movie to rent. I'm sure Netflix or somebody has it. So the lead character is a man who was married and had a child.
Mhm.
They divorced, and he wanted to transition to a woman and have um, the sexual operation that they do in Trinidad, Colorado. Isn't that where they do the sex change operations?
I don't know.
And there's all this protocol you have to go through to be approved to get that operation. And it's a lot of counseling. And one of the things the counselor made him do was um, he had long since left behind his wife and child. And the child had become grown up and become like 16 or so on the street as a prostitute, a male prostitute. The
Oh.
mother had died of cancer. So the counselor tasked this patient with, you need to go take responsibility for your son and resolve those emotions before you can have the surgery.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
And the story is about his cross country trip to first go get the son, who was in like a teenage halfway house place that social workers had gotten him in off of the street. Now,
Mhm.
this character, the main character, was living as a woman. He would dress as a woman. He, had a wig and makeup, and he lived his daily life as a woman. He just hadn't had the sex change part. So when he went to get his son, the son thought it was his aunt, did not know it was his father. The son thought this was his mom's sister coming to get him to
Mhm.
carry him to the grandparents' house, which was across the country. So the story is this tale of these two characters in a road trip across the country.
Mhm.
And there's a point where they're in the middle of no man's land and the boy is asleep, and the the father pulls off the road and goes to the back of the car and lifts up his pink skirt and pees.
Oh my
And the
god.
boy happens to wake up and look in the rearview mirror and sees that this person he thought was a woman, his aunt, was peeing. Not, I mean, peeing like a man, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it triggered all of this stuff to start happening. And the kid got really freaked out and got out of the car. And there's this whole big scene. And the guy finally says, I'm your father. And I want, you know, I want to live my life as a woman. And boy, it was just explosive, right? And my friend's point of me watching it was to try to understand the emotions of someone who is not who they want to be, and
Mhm.
what it is to try to transition your, who you are. And
Mhm.
so it's really interesting. They finally get to the grandparents' house, and the grandparents were the father's parents, and they had rejected him for his desire to go and live his life as a woman. So there was
Mhm.
all of that dynamic, right?
Yeah, he wasn't even wanted by his
Right.
family.
And so the boy gets settled with his grandparents. They're going to get him straight and into school and take care of him. And the father heads back to, you know, pursue this sex change surgery.
Mhm.
And so once he had made his amends with his parents and his kid, the counselor, said, yeah, you're clear to go have this surgery. And he does. And it shows like what, what he goes through, and then as he starts living his life with the sex change, and eventually the son comes to see him and they make amends and get along. But it's a really interesting story and a lovely movie. It won a lot of awards. I would say it's probably from the late 90s, early 2000s. So it's kind of an old movie, but it's
Mhm.
called Transamerica. So anyone that has any of those dynamics in their life going on, it's a great movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really interesting.
It really, I mean, all these years later, and I still talk about it. It was a great story of tolerance, you know, emotions and family and relationships and judgments, just a whole lot of stuff, and kind of a fun story altogether. The road trip was hilarious, some of the things that they got into. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah. So it's interesting times in society to, for all of that kind of judgment and expectation. And so Pluto moving into Aquarius is about people need to be individual and free and independent.
Mhm,
You don't
mhm.
need to have like that peer group mentality where you're pressured by groups of people to be a certain way. Aquarius will make people break out and be their individual selves. And that's wonderfully creative and opens the doors for all kinds of, like you were talking about, the holistic medicine and new technologies for curing a whole number of conditions that, something in our society has created. And now we're going to recreate, regenerate, and that's exciting. But I think there's always that rough spot we have to get through to get to the bright spot.
Yeah, I feel like, it's gonna take time, but I'm kinda curious to see, like, once this Pluto comes out of
Aquarius.
Aquarius and back into Capricorn, am I gonna feel crappy again because, like, I feel like I'm on the precipice of something new, and then it's like, "Well, MFer, like, I
There
want
will be
this."
a sense of regression. There will
Yeah.
be, yeah,
It's like you want something to happen, but it doesn't fall through.
delayed.
Yeah, it's like a lot of delays, but is it gonna be like a whole year? Like,
I'm
that's what I wanna know.
keep meaning to look up exactly when is Mercury go. Okay, so Mercury goes retrograde the 21st of this month. So
Oh,
we're on the fourth, third. Where are we? We're on the 6th. I
we're
don't
on the
even know
7th.
what day it is.
Today's the 7th.
Okay. So on the 21st,
2 weeks from
Mercury
now.
goes retrograde. So
Mhm.
we're feeling it, uh, we're feeling the beginnings of that slowing of Mercury, and that's all about the synapses between the brain ending, its nerve endings, and how quickly we can think or feeling delay.
I've been feeling a lot in my mental area. Like I'm getting a lot of stuff done. There's a lot of ideas that are coming to me. I really like this energy. I feel like I have a lot of steam to kind of, back it up,
Right.
whereas like with my Capricorn energy, it's very slow, very methodical. It's like, okay, I got this, but then it's like, it's just trucking along. But I really like this energy and I don't want it to go away, and I'm a Capricorn, so I'm like,
Well, Chewbacca, I'm sorry you're having an ice storm, and I hope that you don't have any damage. Where I am has been thunderstorms and lightning storms for about 24 hours. I think it's cleared off now, but there was some pretty strong wind gusts and bands of heavy rain that moved through here during this full moon. So, yeah, a lot of weather events. I don't know why. but for some reason in my YouTube feed, where they'll say recommended videos, I keep getting these tsunami videos. I,
What?
I don't know what it is, but it's like, water is emotion. So, like, if you dream of waves and water, it's supposedly a reflection of your emotional condition that you're going through. So, oh my gosh, out of electricity for 2 days. That's like the whole Girl Scout mode that gets old in 24 hours.
Yeah, this time for a bird bath.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
fill up your bathtub with water? Just make sure, or at
Oh
least it's not water, it's electricity. Okay. Gas burner.
well, it's still inconvenient. We take all of these things for granted, don't we?
Mhm. I keep thinking about, like, the olden days, and I say olden, but back when I was younger, um, we had, like, a lot more time spending outdoors, like, in nature, and my kids, they don't really I don't know, they're not the outdoorsy type like I am. I like to go camping and stuff like that, but they're not into it, and they're just, like, wanting to be on their computer and, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to get them back out into nature, you know? What the one thing that my oldest son did, and he never really, is a person to go outdoors, is he actually asked me if we can go out for a walk. And I said, "Yeah," like, but he's always asking me when it's raining outside, and so I'm like, "Well, you wanna do this like a Washingtonian where it doesn't matter, like, rain or shine, you just go out there and do it." But I told him, I said, "No, I'm not doing that, it's too cold."
It disturbs me to think like I can get anxiety. There's been a couple of times, like I had a phone crash, I don't know, a year or two ago, probably 2 years ago. And that feeling I had to be without that phone for a couple of days, it was very disturbing that I was disturbed.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? It's like go all this time without a phone, and then suddenly it becomes this little handheld computer where you're totally connected to it, you know, and then it crashed and I had to wait on one to come in. And, it was a couple of days without a phone, without a cell
Mhm.
phone.
Mhm,
And it
mhm.
really bothered me that I kept reaching for it. I kept looking for it because I don't really care for that, but yet I'm programmed to have it. And it bothers me that I'm programmed to look for it or have it. I
I mean,
don't
we're all guilty of it. I'm pretty sure almost everybody has one.
I think we need to I think we need to make a conscious effort to unplug from electronics on a weekly basis,
I think
like
that should be a part of, like, the detox. So, like, in
yeah,
Catholicism, they have, like, a week of fasting or something like that. Well, you can do fasting instead of, like, like, giving up meat or something. You can give
right,
up your cell phone,
right.
you know?
It's disturbing how difficult that is.
Yeah. I agree.
I was leaving the office today, and one of the ladies was like, um, we were on the elevator, and she was like, "Oh, where's my watch?" And she was like looking all through her purse and everything, and she's like, "Oh, I need to go back upstairs. I think I've left it." And I had made the comment that I had been in document hell for a few days. And so she was like, "Okay, so you need to be away from a computer for the weekend." And it's true. It's like you get, I mean, this whole like reading on the screen for, hours on hours of the day. And it's like your brain just, what is that? It ends Sunday. Oh, well.
She's talking
Oh,
about rent.
yeah.
Oh, well,
Oh,
we
well.
only got, like, 3 days left or, like, whatever,
Yeah.
2 and a half.
I meant to give up sugar, and that didn't happen.
Well, you're not really religious like, a
Yeah, that's true.
participant,
And
so it's
that's my excuse for why, I ate that Hershey Kiss.
it's okay.
Well, it's not really, but that sugar thing is
No, I
bad.
I I have a sugar thing too.
It's
My sugar
bad.
thing is I need a pastry every night. I need a pastry or something sugary. I need I would mix it up. Sometimes it's oranges or grapefruit, which is a good alternative, right? But
Yes.
then I need my bun or like I need like some sugar cookies or some like oatmeal cookies and stuff.
I,
Like I need
I'm with you.
sugar.
I know. I almost get jittery if I don't have something sweet.
I
It's
do it
very
with tea.
disturbing.
No, it's not. It's all right. It's a comfort thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's fine to wind down with a cookie and a tea before you go to bed. Like I don't
Oh,
know.
it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I gain a few pounds, but hey, I'm
So you like
happy.
Pepsi, Chewbacca? Is that what your treat is?
Oh, Pepsi will rot your teeth.
Hey,
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that Coca-Cola was going to start making Coca-Cola by the original recipe. That would be weird, wouldn't it?
Nah, I might try that and be like, damn, is this what it was like? I can do anything.
Yeah. Talk about energy. Whew.
Yeah, probably need some Percocets too.
Yeah.
Like
At
off.
least a heating pad. Yeah. Yeah. I'm much better than I used to be about soda, but it is a treat to me. I like that fizzy stuff.
Yeah, I get soda water for that.
How's Luna? Luna.
Luna is in her heat cycle. Hello, honey. Right? Wait, why are you looking at
Luna.
me? I'm not saying Luna. Look over there. Look. Right.
Luna.
Luna.
Hi, Luna.
Over
Where's your
here.
dinosaur? Where's your dinosaur?
Oh my God, where is that thing?
Is it all slobbery?
No, it's dried up. It's slobbery at night.
Yeah.
That's when it's slobbery. But yeah. Yeah, that toy lasts forever, by the
I,
way.
they came in a pack of three. She got one, and both mine got one,
Well, she loves it
and
and
they love
she can
them.
fit her whole mouth in it and
Right.
she just sops it up and drops it in front of me, acting like I want to play fetch with it. And I'm like, no, this is gross. Right, honey? Yes. Yeah, you hungry? Are you
Cutie
hungry?
pie.
You want snack? You want a roll cake? Yeah, she's like licking her lips. Roll cake. She loves it. I say that she's the culprit. She's the cancer queen, right? This girl, she likes the sweet stuff.
So Chewbacca's asking, how does Luna react seeing herself in a mirror?
Oh, she licks herself.
She licks herself.
She'll go look, like right here. She'll be up on my bed, and then I have a mirror, kind of cat according to it. She'll go to the very edge and go look at her face. The first time she just stared.
So there's a treat that I got turned on to that's dehydrated, and it's dehydrated green tripe. And tripe
Oh,
is some kind of animal intestine, or it's some
oh, it's
organ of an animal,
intestine.
and it's dehydrated, but it's supposed to be all natural. And uh, my dogs love them.
Huh.
I have been trying to investigate um, more natural dog foods.
You know what Luna likes? She likes carrots in the raw,
Yeah,
and I'll give her like some sweet potato. Like
yeah,
I'll heat it up naturally, and she loves the sweet potato.
my
And
dogs love
um,
that.
yeah,
I've
and
been
then
using carrots to train them
oh, have you?
instead of treats, and
Yeah, they're crunchy and good.
yeah,
Like
it keeps their attention because they have to like crunch on it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I've been seeing this ad. It's called the Farmer's Dog, but it's where you can have fresh cooked dog food delivered to your house.
Yeah, I've heard my vet said that they have bacteria or they can get like
It
bacteria.
is bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah, no, you just make that stuff yourself.
Yeah.
You have to do like meal prep.
Well, I know a lot of a lot of dog people feed their dogs like raw meat and raw chicken,
Oh,
even the bones.
okay. So Luna is really spoiled. So I give her steak or chicken or it's yeah, and sometimes pork.
Do you
Not
cook it?
yeah, I cook it.
Yeah.
So I don't give it to her raw, but she does half and half, like half kibble and half meat chunks.
Yeah.
And yeah, she eats like that and she is healthy, very strong. Um
Well,
and
what I was investigating was the immune system because Mojo's ears have been trying to lose hair and it's allergy related, like
oh
on the
yeah.
back of his ears.
Mhm, mhm.
So I've been doing salmon oil and kind of this chicken and rice and vegetable concoction on top of the gibble and just trying to give like a more nourishing food.
You know what? I just remember you have allergies to pine and you live in a pine
Yes.
field. Like what did you use for that to get over your
Um,
pine allergy?
I actually had serums mixed up at a compounding pharmacy, and I took doses of the serums for years to build up the antibodies toward to build up the immune system.
Okay, is it anything that a
And you
dog
can do that with dogs. It's just really expensive, like
oh,
probably $500 to $700 a month.
I think it's he's allergic to your pine trees.
It could be, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. And
Or it's
plus
seasonal because it just like happened overnight, you know?
uh-huh,
So,
uh-huh,
and we've just had like this pop of, I think it was grass
pollen.
pollen that they talked
Mhm.
about recently. But yeah, right now we're in full spring pollination,
Well,
right?
can you give dogs the same like kind of like allergy medicines that we can take?
Yeah, there is an allergy doctor for dogs in the area that I took a dog to, and years ago it was like $300 a month. So I'm thinking it's probably double that now to
Well,
give
you
them.
never know. You can ask and see like, "Hey, what's the going rate?"
It has something to do with the immune system, right? So anything to build up the immune system to fight off the allergy is also
What
a good
okay,
thing
so
to do.
I'm going back to, like, humans, like vitamin D and zinc type foods, so
Yeah.
well, what is, the foods rich in
D is another one.
mhm. So I would say just, give him foods rich in those vitamins
Yeah.
and see what happens.
That's why I started doing the omega salmon oil.
Mhm.
Oh, they
I think that's
love
more
that.
for cognition and for the healthy coats and stuff like
It's
that.
yeah, immune system, immune booster too.
Mhm.
And I have noticed he was had a little some dandruff, and I've noticed
Oh.
that's gone away, so that it is helping with that.
Mm.
But
Now
they
you got
go
dried
out and
skin.
they put their nose right in the stuff. You know what I mean? It's
I
like,
know. Luna does
oh,
that too. I mean, it's because she has a short,
I
snout,
know,
and she's rubbing it all in.
I
Like,
know.
does your dogs, do they sniff at you and then blow chunks of, their nostril
Oh.
stuff? That's what Luna does to me. She'll go,
You
"Yeah,
should see
you
her
see that?
expression right
She
now.
knew. She knew it." I
She's
was
looking at you like, "Are
like,
you talking about me?" Are
Yeah.
you talking about me?
Yes, that's what you do. That's what you do. You don't like it, do you? Now you know how I feel. Nasty. Just saying. Anyway. But yeah.
Well, it's just like plants, I have a friend at work who, I mean, there's so many plants she can't have in her yard because they're poisonous to her. She has a few horses.
Mm-hmm.
And, what might bother one won't bother another and could kill another. So you do have to be careful about what you do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think come
Which
summer she has to take one other shot, but I haven't let her out the house. Um, I don't know. Did they get sick after eating the heart medicine, the monthly thing? Because the last time she kind of gagged and threw up, but I didn't contact the vet. But we're gonna find out. She takes hers on the 21st.
I think there's different ones,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so
Well,
maybe
she never
try
had
it.
an issue before. It's just the last time she was like throwing up, and I'm like, what is that? And it was like a lot of like mucus, you know,
Right.
like
I had a vet say to me one time, and it came to me to say is, they can be a lot like people. I mean, maybe some days we don't feel that great to eat, or, you know, like when your dog changes his eating patterns, we tend to like, oh no. But sometimes they just don't feel like eating.
mhm. I don't know, but she's shedding a lot these days.
Getting ready for the summer.
I don't know, but
Well, that's probably part of her cycle too.
that's how I feel about that. Right, Luna? She's like looking at her at the mirror back there.
Is she?
Yeah, she's just staring at herself.
Oh,
Yeah,
keeping herself company.
I guess so. Is that your friend over there? She's like really quiet, just staring at herself. So weird.
Mine have been surprisingly quiet. I fed them. I took them for a walk and I fed them and I said, I got to go to work. I'll be back in a little while. I
So
think they know that word work.
Shabaka was writing something about be careful. Your dogs were Cocoa Puffs for greenies, and your pets always had a piece for your dinners after you were done. Everyone got a piece. Uh, I used no filler foods. And then she said that she almost killed her dog by giving human meds by a pharmacist and said it was normally prescribed, but not Advil. And it came at more than a 5K price. Oh my God.
I have given dogs Benadryl
Yeah.
and I have given them Pepsid. Now, just little pinches, not the full pill like a human would take, but
Mm-hmm.
like, I had a dog that had some kind of acid reflux. So I would take one of those little Pepsid pills and cut it in half and just put half on their food.
I'm
Not
still,
all the time. It was not a all the time thing, just
it's just
occasionally.
like a one time
Right.
and once in a every blue moon. All right. Oh, dang, girl. Anyway, I'm Harry. I think I'm done, honey. I have to.
Yes, this has been nice. We'll have that new moon here. Let's see. 19th.
Oh, is that the day?
Let's see. It's a solar eclipse in Aries and a new moon. And it's kind of stretched between Wednesday and Thursday, the 19th and 20th. Of course, the
Mm-hmm.
sun enters Taurus on the 20th. So a lot going on right around the 20th of this month. I need to flip my calendar over. I still have it on March. It's in this really difficult place to flip over. So I have to feel particularly athletic to get over there to flip it.
Yeah, I actually rearranged my stuff. I now have your calendar up here next to me.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
I need to flip it over for I should
Oh,
flip it
I
over for,
see the new moon is on the 20th. Damn, I just should have like turned back and looked back there.
you're fine. Chewbacca, I hope your weather clears up and your internet clears up, and it's always wonderful to spend time with you and
Yes.
everyone that comes to our little chats. We greatly appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, let us know how your move goes, Shabaka. She was talking about the paint smell in her new place, and that's not healthy for her
It
to.
was something to do with a defect with the garbage chute,
Oh, was it?
and they were trying to sanitize it, telling her it was paint.
Yeah,
You
okay. No,
can't fool a Chewbacca.
yeah, just like that train
Yeah.
that got derailed and everybody's just falling over, from taking a whiff. Like
I
it's
don't know.
garbage. She
It's a
said it's
world gone mad. It's Hollywood.
she said it's garbage.
Uh,
It smells through the floor. That's disgusting. There's no way that you could like sleep, with the smell coming through. But if you have like those amenities, where you have a garbage chute, I mean I feel like that's a privilege. I don't have a garbage chute. I have to go wrap it up in a bag and take it outside.
oh. So are you committed to this apartment or do you have options?
Yeah, Shabaka, if you haven't moved in yet, I mean, maybe you should.
Keep looking around or is it too
Yeah,
far along the way?
let the next person smell that, like, not
Yeah,
you. And I know that you really probably want to like move and you had your heart set on it, but maybe this isn't the one. It's a 5-month lease. Can you get out of it? You haven't moved in yet.
they have to fix that problem, you would think.
Yeah, that's a health hazard. Unless they want a lawsuit. Like, and if that's the case, you can call up Sonny for legal advice.
It's good because I get look for something better.
Because okay, so temporarily, this isn't like, but for 5 months, smelling that thing, I mean, I don't know.
I think they're
Unless,
going to fix it. They're obligated to fix it.
okay,
Call the
make sure,
health department,
yeah,
make them fix it.
or an inspector, make sure that they do it.
So we'll close on this story. In real estate land, there's always a story. And this is one of the many stories that I have recalled from all these years of real estate. There was this house in a bad part of town that was getting totally rehabbed. Everything, everything, floor to ceiling, roof, electrical, plumbing, you name it, it got rehabbed. And it was a first time home buyer style government loan, young lady with a 4-year-old daughter. And it took 8 or 9 months for this house to get finished and pass all the inspections. And on the day that it was supposed to close, she calls me up. She says, I can't close. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? She said, there's pigeon feces on the back porch, and I don't want my daughter walking around that. Well, it sounded crazy at the time. We called the city health inspector to go check out the pigeon feces. And it ends up that it indeed was a health hazard because when pigeons roost in multiple numbers, the feces can create a virus in the human brain. So she really
Wow.
was like right on the money about it being a health hazard. Of course, the seller wanted to go through the roof because they'd always spent tons of money on this house. And this was back a long time ago, probably in the late 80s. It cost $1,500 for the soffit, and for them to get the pigeons out of the soffit and get that cleaned up and clean up the feces. And just that time was a lot of money. And but yeah, that's what I have retained from many years of real estate closings, is that pigeon feces damages the human brain. So stay away from
So
a
that
lot.
white stuff that I be sitting on, you know, is actually like hazardous.
You don't want to be around lots of it all the time.
Yeah, but when you go into touristy places and you're like, "Oh, look, pigeons and stuff," and you
Yeah,
have no idea
you
that
probably
they're
don't want to hang around the pigeon feces. No.
shed. I
And
had
then,
no idea.
and the word for it is I don't know, it's like 116 letters long. I could never recall it again. I mean, there's a
Mhm.
word for that virus it
It's a
causes, but
long word.
yeah, pigeon feces. I don't even want to know that. I don't
The
even want to
softest
know.
leather
That's a new one. I haven't heard that. Oh my gosh.
beneath your feet?
And that's another thing wrong with the world.
Well, at least you're in Canada because if you were down south, you know what be growing down there? Maggots and stuff, and you have flies flying around, and that would be a health hazard.
Do you
But you're in
remember that movie called The Fly, where the guy turns into a fly and it shows you all those weird things flies do?
you think so? I can't remember the whole thing, but
They throw up before they eat. They do some
ew,
weird things.
I don't think I wanna revisit that one.
Oh my goodness. Well, we always have fun.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And it's Friday.
It's
Yay!
Friday. Yes, Jeff Goldblum. That was an intense movie for sure.
Mhm, he was in a lot of good movies back in the
Yeah.
day. Um,
I haven't seen him in a while.
I think he's retired, that's why. But anywho, all right. So thank you, Sunny, for
Thank
being here.
you. Thank you, Scorpio Moon. And
Yes.
we'll reconvene this madness soon.
And if you guys are really interested in booking a reading with Sunny, you can visit linemountainhealing.com to do a natal chart. And it's always a pleasure of having you here with us
The
on the new
world's
and
on
full moon.
fire, but it's going to be okay.
It will be okay. And tomorrow will be another day.
Yes.
Well, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time.
See you later.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.